Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division Normandy 44 video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 3 versus 3 on Hill 112, and I'm going to be playing with the British Guards Armoured. I wanted to bring this one to you guys because it had some classic Steel Division Normandy 44 moments. But let's have a quick look at what I'm getting down here. So I've got a motorised rifle up on the hill with the M5 half-track. We have further down some rifles, motorised rifles in the M5 half-track, 6-pounder and a Cromwell 7 at the start. Got the Humber Mark III with the Recce squad and the 6-pounder on the left-hand side. Cromwell 6 going to be coming up from behind with its lovely 1,200 meter range HE. Very helpful indeed. As Cromwell 7 is the key of the Guards Armoured in the early game. You can get it in Phase A, and it has, I think in real life it had an up-armoured turret, so it has 11 front armour in-game, and it's really strong for trading against enemy medium armour and light armour in the early game. But I'm going to be up against Jelf here. He's going to be using the first SS Panzer, and he's got his SS Volksdeutsche there. They're going to be causing a problem, and also the IG-18. So what I'm going to do is just right-click my guys back into the half-track, and it instantly takes them out of fire. Really nice trick. If you are ever playing Steel Division Normandy 44 again, then definitely something to do. Also, it works in Steel Division 2, but usually you don't see it done as much in Steel Division 2 because the half-tracks are easier to kill. So, yeah. In this case, much easier for me to do that, but say if like mortar fire started coming down on this and it was Steel Division 2, then my half track would just die and then my infantry would die inside it. Whereas in this case, that wouldn't be the case unless the M5 half track was already really damaged. Anyway, I'm trying to move up the Cromwell 6 here into a good position to help support on the left side of the hill. I've got my Recce that's just kind of chilling and keeping eyes peeled in the open. I'm going to be bringing up some reinforcements. Got Humber Mark III that's going to be joining me up on the hill. I did want to have a Recce squad that could kind of move through the tree line and help engage the Volksdeutsche. I wanted to try and move the M5 half-track around, but I was just leaving it in position so that if the motorised rifles got targeted again, I'd be able to just put them back into the half-track. A 6-pounder on the left, going to be engaging the Puma, and I managed to kill that off. So really nice hit there from the 6-pounder. Ends up getting hit hard though by the MG42 and the IG. Going to be able to fall it back for the time being. Engagement continues between the Volksdeutsche and the motorised rifles. This time around, I just decided to move the M5 half-track into line of sight so that I can also help pin that down with the machine gun. Because then what I can do is maybe charge towards it and get the surrender in. On the left, Spitfire coming in from J-Dog is going to drop a bomb onto the MG42. The 6-pounder lining up a shot onto the transport is going to miss, primarily due to its stress. Cromwell 7 currently trying to help support at the distance. IG did manage to get the shot onto the 6-pounder in the meantime, because there is a little bit of a gap here. Well, wouldn't have been able to shoot the half-track or the transport if that wasn't the case. Humber Mark III now engaging the IG-18, so I'm going to get the Cromwell 7 over to give a hand there. This is another reason that the Cromwell 7 can be really useful, because it allows us to just face tank HE damage quite a lot. The Exos got off to a pretty good start up here and has secured a decent chunk of ground, so we are at the plus 152% in this game, which is nice. Got another 6-pounder to replace the one on the left. I also decided to bring in a 25-pounder at the start. I'm bringing in like a single artillery piece and using it throughout the game is something that you just can't do in Steel Division 2. But in Steel Division Normandy 44, it's something that actually works out quite nicely. Particularly something like a 25-pounder, things like a Vespa, like those sort of 105-ish caliber guns that are kind of bad in Steel Division 2 are actually quite good in Steel Division Normandy 44. So that's what I'm going to be trying to utilise throughout this game to give me some fire support. Got some extra rifles moving up. Yeah, the 6-pounder's getting in position. Just got to be careful that the Volksdeutsche don't get into position. Thankfully my Cromwell 6 does have line of sight over to that Volksdeutsche, and I'm going to be able to pin them down pretty quickly with one shot because these are disheartened. And the disheartened trait doesn't cause them to automatically fall back in Steel Division Normandy 44, it just causes them to take extra suppression. So pin down immediately in this case. 25 pounder is going to be firing away towards the previous location of the IG, and I've got my motorized rifles and my rifles moving forwards onto the Volksdeutsche. They are able to get their MG fire off because my motorized rifle squad here wasn't close enough to stop that from happening. A little bit of a micro error on my part, not moving it close enough for that machine gun to stop firing, because it ended up pinning down both of my units and I got double hit by the IG as well, which is kind of sad. Anyway, rifle's getting in position, 6 pounder moving into position, 25 pounders still looking for the shots onto the IG-18. Second 6 pounders on its way, I've even got a third 6 pounder on the way. My plan is really just to kind of lock this down on the left hand side and prevent Jelf from continuing his push. So Cromwell 7 now engaging the other IG-18 there. Got 2 Humber Mark 3s. Got the Recce into the tree line, and that will definitely help spot enemy infantry moving forwards. But since the IG-18's moved all the way forwards, the Cromwell 6 is able to engage. My 6 pounders now taking pot shots at this armour. So things kind of nice and even at the moment between myself and Jelf. Like, I've killed his unit, he kills my unit, and it's a nice back and forth going on at the moment. 25 pounders engaging the MG42, and I've got the rifles now engaging the Volksdeutsche, but the Volksdeutsche, they are going to be able to get their MGs on target. It's only down to my Cromwell 6 that this rifle just doesn't get completely beat. Moving up the 6 pounder to help kill the half track if I can. But I end up shooting at the Stug 3, and the rifles get surrendered there, which is unfortunate. Now I have the M5 half-track moving up though, which will provide the motorized rifles. Just gotta hope that they land their Piat. Piat away, and 251 goes down. Also managed to pin the Volksdeutsche, get them surrendered. 6 pounders currently dealing with the Stug 3, and we've managed to get a weapon jam there, so that was really nice. Going to put that out of action. Shot from the other 6 pounder manages to get the kill, and the Cromwell's currently chipping the infantry. So we've managed to kind of break down that left side really quite nicely. The triple AT gun on this left side, very difficult for his armor to deal with. And having got rid of the SS Volksdeutsche, those 6 pounders are actually in a pretty good spot. My Recce sitting far forwards, providing me with plenty of nice information, which is why that infantry squad that moved forward there instantly got shot at by all of my units, including the Cromwell and so on up on the ridge. More rifles on the way. Just need some infantry that's going to be able to kind of push forwards for me in order to secure these tree lines, because where I really want to be is in this area with this tree line being on the far side. That way I have a really nice secure position that I can work from. 6 pounder manages to find a beautiful shot onto 232. Gets the driver wound. Able to pin it down with the second shot. Just got to wait for the 6 pounder to get on target. Meanwhile, Cromwell 6 getting 3 shots onto the IG. Going to be able to take that out. There is of course a mortar behind here, but having known that the 232 is more or less dealt with, we dealt with the infantry on the right hand side, I'm just pushing aggressively with my universal carriers and the M5 half track there. 6 pounder does get pinned by the mortar fire and killed off. I can't really finish off the 232, which is unfortunate. But I am still able to take the ground here, which is good. Puma comes up. That is going to be able to hit one of my Humbers. And the Panzer does manage to take out one of my universal carriers, but as soon as that shows itself, comes under a ton of fire. And all the while, my Recce going to be able to continue to move up, and we get the surrender there. So some pretty successful engagements so far with the guards armoured. I pushed Jelf out of position, which is really good, and he's going to have to fall back, as you can see here, with his mortar half-track, with his AA. Going to have to reposition that. Can't really afford to push through that little gap, especially since I have it covered by 2 AT guns at the moment. So a nice bit of territory grabbed on that left-hand side. I've got another Cromwell on the way, the Cromwell 4. This is going to provide me with some extra veterancy, as well as obviously an armoured piece that can deal with the 232 should it push forwards. Still got the 25 pounder, currently moving that forward so that I can get more accurate shots from it when I'm engaging enemy pieces. I've also got the Sherman 5 on the way, another leader tank, but just good for getting these 6 pounders some extra veterancy whilst also engaging at range. So a little bit of a lull in the combat, but across the map things still going on. Yag's engaging Jinjeft up on the hill, trying to take full control of the hill. On the right hand side, J-Dog's got another quiet front over here for the time being. But as I always mention, in Steel Division Normandy 44, it's all about those set plays. It's all about breaking down a particular unit that causes a chain of events that leads to loss of ground for one player or another. And in this case, we took out the infantry, which allowed me to get aggressive with the half-track. We killed the enemy half-track, which means they can't kill the AT guns, and the AT gun kills the Stug, and the AT gun start putting pressure on the 232, and then they're kind of out of position from there, basically. And I managed to secure the left-hand side. Now, it all kicks off again. Iraqi squad gets spotted, gonna have to be forced back. 6 pounder fails to kill the Puma. On the left side, Volksdeutscher forced back my rifles. What he's going to want to do is get his Volksdeutscher into this tree line so that he can see what's on the other side, and then potentially push me really hard with the 232 and the Puma, on the Panther, sorry, whilst also providing fire support from up top. And if he can do that correctly, he can take this back. So that's what he's definitely going to be looking to do. But currently, with the 56% plus 1, 27 minutes until total victory, so looking pretty good. Looking pretty good so far. 257 is going to be constantly trying to mortar my AT guns. You see I have lost pretty much all of them here, except from this one. And that's obviously going to cause issues over time. I do want to make sure that these AT guns stay alive, because they are the main way in which I can defend against Jelf's push. But meanwhile, 25 pounder is going to be targeting the Pack 40 that I believe was in this tree line. Half-track's moved around, he's just using that to scout more or less. A Humber Mark III meanwhile gets taken out by the Panther G. Also on the top, Cromwell 7's going to go down to the Panther G. So these Panther Gs, a little bit of a problem. Like, I do have Fireflies as the guards, but I've got to wait until I can bring them in. Took out the IG, so it wasn't a Pack 40, sorry, it was an IG. Managed to get rid of that with a 25 pounder. Direct hits from the 25 pounder are quite effective, which is what you saw there. Taking out the 3 health. I managed to kill off the infantry on the left hand side, the Cromwell 4 getting the job done. Now the 6 pounder going to have a go at the Panther G. I do also have 17 pounders, so you can see I've got this 17 pounder back here. It's also going to be able to help out at the long ranges against the Panthers. My Sherman 5 having issues, the 6 pounder having issues. At this range, things just not good for my units. 17 pounder does find a shot through on the left hand side, takes out the 232, takes away the veterancy from the Panther G, so that was a nice engagement for me. But these rifles are going to be pinned down by the 232 on the right and the Puma, and also the Volksdeutscher pushing forwards. And we have this little bit of a duel here where both of us want to have infantry control of this tree line, because if we do, then it makes it hard for the other person to have AT here. Or in my case, I'm stopping him from getting to my AT. In his case, he doesn't need AT because he's got the Panther G out in the open. Panther G is going to aim and fire at the Cromwell. I feel like I was a little bit lucky for that not to hit, because the Panther G did have the 2 vet. 6-pounder. Currently attack moving to the edge of the tree line. I'm hoping that I can get it in line of sight of the Puma so that I can kill it without being in line of sight of the Panther G and the 232. I do manage to get the first shot off. One of my rifles has gone down though. 17-pounder on the left side kills an open blitz in the meantime. Managed to take out the Puma with the 6-pounder. Bomber's coming in from Jagd. Doesn't end up dropping its bombs. And the 6-pounder is going to go down. Rifles are going to be able to clean up the SS Volksdeutsche though. And make it difficult for him to continue to move forwards his units, because I've brought up another 17-pounder. So yeah, as I mentioned, I do have Fireflies, but of course I do have plenty of these 17-pounders. And these 17-pounders, they're going to help me, just like the 6-pounders have so far, in if I just sort of move them forward slowly with infantry support, we can take out these more expensive units for like a cost-efficient price. So each of these 17-pounders, 120 points. Each of his Panther Gs, 280 points. One of these 17-pounders can just one-pop these Panther Gs, and that is a fantastic kill. Also in this case, 17-pounder getting line of sight onto the 257, looking for the kill, unfortunately missing twice. And the 257, of course, going to be getting away there. I've also now brought up the Firefly. This is 2 vet with the Sherman nearby. Wildcat coming in again with the bombs. These bombs aren't that big, but we'll be able to do damage to armored cars over time. Basically needs 2 of them to get the job done. Enemy artillery now coming in onto the 17-pounder. Does end up killing it off. Gonna be like a Vespa, or probably most likely a Vespa. You can generally tell the caliber of the round by like the explosion. And in that case, where it's like kind of similar to the 25-pounder, it's going to be something like a Vespa. We did say Whitman starting to come up on the hill. Yeah, doing a good job of controlling this. Baydog still more or less 50-50 here on the right-hand side. We're just pushing over the 50-50 on this left-hand side. Firefly is able to help kill off another half-track though, which is good. Hellcat coming in there for the supply. Very good. Another bit of a bombing strike to help me out as well. Firefly taking a cheeky shot at the Panther G, but takes a shot itself from the left. Be really, really careful with those engagements. I am still moving up the 17-pounder on this side though. And I've also got the 17-pounder, of course, up on the hill. That's managed to find line of sight onto the Panther G. My 17-pounder engaging the SDK of Z71, and my 17-pounders really not doing as well as they should do just yet. But at least I managed to pick up that AA kill. That will allow at least Jagd to keep supporting me with his aircraft, even if I'm not necessarily using aircraft myself. Now the Panther G getting engine destroyed with its side armor showing. 17-pounder just waiting to get that kill, and there we go, Panther G down. So really good engagement for me. 17-pounders really getting the job done.
Ready to brew some tanks, sir?
And this one continuing to push forwards to the edge of the tree line. Really want to get it into a position where I can threaten the other Panther G, and once again managed to get into line of sight here. Ideally I would have had the Sherman further up so that I can provide it with the extra veterancy. Like every little vet counts in Steel Division Normandy 44, just for that little bit of extra veterancy or extra accuracy. On this left side, Panzergrens do get a shot towards my 17-pounder. I'm going to move the Cromwell out and try and help pin that down ASAP. And the 17-pounder is going to have to keep moving back. Meanwhile, 25-pounder starting to hit the 88 here. I want to try and pin these down and kill them off over time. But one really nice thing was my universal carrier zoomed up here, surrenders the Panzer, and with the Panther dead, well, I'm just riding up to the sunset. And we managed to finally see what was firing at me. 17 pounder, just busy falling back. So yeah, that's indeed a Vespa. And I'm just going to hide my universal carrier in the light cover here for the time being, so that we can control the ground and sit on this +2. With the 88s pinned down, Yag's going to come in with the bombing strikes. Looking for the kills onto those 88s. Bombers in Steel Division Normandy 44 though, as you can see, don't really do much damage to AA. Like my 25 pounder, if it lands on target, can definitely do some decent damage. But what I need right now, so I've got more recon on the way, but I definitely need more infantry so I can push up this tree line. So I'm going to be bringing in some more motorized rifles. Yeah, slowly chipping the 88s away, which is good. The direct hit there takes it down to 3 hit points. I should have really turned off this universal carrier, because as soon as it shows itself, it gets popped by the Panther D that's now been brought up. Yeah, not turning off the machine gun there might have saved it. I mean, it could have also just let the Opel Blitz drive up to it and unload next to it, which would have also not been great. But Firefly's now pushing forwards. I'm trying to finish off the 88 there. And these are 2-star veterancy Fireflies. I do find myself a speed through that the Humber's able to take care of. And finally, Firefly gets the job done. 6-pounder is going to go down. Unfortunately, driver wound onto one of my Fireflies from the Panther. Really hoping that I can win this engagement over time. Just got to kind of rely on the rate of fire that I have between 2 Fireflies. Firefly does fall back. It's forced back after that shot lands nearby. I'm going to pull the other 2 into cover. Him on the left, 17-pounder. Getting down to 3 health. And Humber Mark 3 on the left. Well, that's managed to find line of sight onto the Volksdeutscher. Now this is a unit that's actually really good in Steel Division Normandy 44. That's really not as good in Steel Division 2. The Humber Mark 3. See how quickly it melts that SS Volksdeutscher. Also, you saw that I killed another 88 there. That's the 2 88s that were here, both dead now. A fresh one further back from Genjeft. And the engagement with the Panther G, still trying to jump in and out of combat there. Nice kill from the 17-pounder, kills the Panther D. And more artillery coming in on top of this infantry. Also going to be investing in a Typhoon AT now, going to be bringing that round the edge of the map. So that I can kill either the Panther D, or at least try to kill the Panther D, or the 257 in this case. Which I'm going to be going for. Because I really want to get rid of this mortar carrier. This thing has been doing a lot of damage to my AT guns. Now thankfully, they did bring my AT gun here down to 1 health. And there is a long lost saying in Steel Division Normandy 44, and that is that 1 health AT guns are the deadliest. And that is why. Panthers go down, left, right and centre. 1 shot, 2 shot, wabam. That's why you don't leave AT guns on 1 health. Obviously in this case, you can't help it. But 1 health AT guns, it was always a thing. It was always a thing in Steel Division Normandy 44. And this game, it reminded me of it. It reminded me of it. Big time. Like, even just that 1 kill there Is a 17 pounder 120 points, killing a 280 point Panther and a 232 in 2 shots. It's disgusting. Double Firefly free to charge forwards now with the Sherman 5. He tries to move SS Volksdeutsche in the tree line on the left. That just doesn't end well for them. And I now have a Sexton on the field. So alongside the 25 pounder, also got the Sexton. Sexton's going to be able to try and counter battery a little bit here. And I believe it was actually targeting the 88. So we're up to a +1, 57%. 14 minutes until victory, because that is the timer on the game. Meanwhile, 25 pounder on the left is engaging the SS Volksdeutsche. My Fireflies are still trying to make some ground here. 1 health AT gun continues to sneak up. I've got a 3 health AT gun on the left, so not as effective. That is now the +2 briefly. Tempest coming in for the strafe and run onto the 257. I was hoping that I had pinned down the AA here, and I believe at this point I had. So that was good. But Spitfire now coming in for a bombing strike as well onto the mortar carrier. I was just really trying to take this thing out, but bombing strike completely missing. 17 pounder finally does go down to this Panther D, and the Panther D is going to take out the Humber there. Firefly going to get the track wheel destroy though. Really nice hit from the Firefly. His Firefly unfortunately forced back with a weapon jam. And well, Jelf, he pulls off an absolute magic trick as he manages to find the very low percentage chance and kills my Firefly. This is almost fully pinned, so that thing at max range is going to have more or less no accuracy. Probably like 10-20% maybe, max. It was really sad. And that's going to kind of push us back for the time being. Trying to get my 17 pounder forwards in the meantime, try and get it to this light cover here, so that it can cover off on my Firefly retreats. But yeah, that was I was kind of sad about that one, that's for sure. And with the shot actually missing the Sherman 5 with an AP shell, it pins down the 17 pounder a lot. This is another thing that happens quite a lot in Steel Division Normandy 44. If a AC gun is next to a tank and the tank gets shot at with an AP round that misses, the AP round causes more suppression than the HE round would have if it was firing directly at the 17 pounder. Just a heads up. Anyway, Firefly gonna be able to get out of there. Luckily. It shouldn't have. This is the one that should have died. This is the one that shouldn't have died. But the Sherman goes down, so yeah, I'm in a bit of a predicament. Gonna be using my 25 pounder and the Sexton to try and get rid of this Pack 40, because 2-star Pack 40s are never nice to deal with. So I've got another AT gun on the way. This is going to be a 17 pounder, and then I've got the 2 motorized rifles that are going to be trying to push up the tree line again. 17 pounder looking to engage the Panther D and get the kill if it can. The Panther D gets out of range just in time. Meanwhile on the left, Opel Blitz does end up getting killed. So we have killed a bunch of stuff in transports. Jelf definitely could have avoided that a bit more throughout the game. And meanwhile, going to get the Firefly to zoom down to the supply to get its weapon jam fixed, because otherwise it's just going to continue to be ineffective. All the while, still trying to RT this Pack 40.
Everybody, check your ammo.
And trying to get my motorized rifles further up. Another 1 health AT gun. Looking to get the job done on the left soon, if I can. But Cromwell getting a decent shot towards the Puma.
Ready to brew some tanks, sir?
17 pounder missing the half track. That's because it's pinned, or like the suppression there causing it problems.
Let's
Like trying to get the Cromwell to sneak forwards here and engage the Puma without being engaged by the Panther. Unfortunately get driver wounded. But the 17 pounder back here, it's going for it. Gets the kill onto the Puma. 1 health AT guns, guys. I remember when I used to cast Steel Division Normandy 44, and it used to be ridiculous how good 1 health AT guns would be. And again there it hit. It was lucky I didn't penetrate. Managed to penetrate that shot but didn't get the kill. It's just crazy. It's like they always hit. They have like 100% accuracy. Now check out this Recce. Look at that. Managed to get that so far up. This one thing I really like about Steel Division Normandy 44 as well is the way that you can use recon squads to sneak really far forwards. Particularly if your opponent isn't using much recon nearby. So probably maybe has recon down here somewhere, but yeah, he didn't have any recon here. The only thing that was annoying was that the Pack 40 ended up bumping into it. So it's actually going to reveal it and kill it off. And the 17 pounder, well, that's going to get mortared. So I was hoping that the 17 or the Sexton could kill the Pack 40 before the Recce died, because then the Recce would have been hidden again. But Pack 40 dies just after the Recce die. It's really sad. Meanwhile on the left, 25 pounder does have line of sight onto the Nebelwerfer, so going to be hitting that. And my Sexton's going to try and finally finish off this mortar half-track that has been the bane of my AT guns. It's really just done a lot of work on my units. Oh, there it goes again. The 1 health AT gun, everyone. Panther D dead. Like it. Stig 3 does return the favour, but what value you can get out of those 1 health AT guns. It is fantastic. This is like reliving the glory days of Steel Division Normandy 44. Sexton really hoping that that can get a shot on target. 25 pounder, same thing. Just hoping that I can break these down. It just does not want to die. Now the Pack 40 up on the ridge, engaging my 17 pounder. Finally, 6 pounder kills off the enemy mortar half track. Nice kill by Jag. 17 pounder up on the hill here, takes out Panzer IV. But Genjeft is starting to make a decent amount of ground, especially considering how far Jag got up on this hill. He has been pushed back quite significantly, so we are only at the +1 now, not the +2. We still have the territory lead, so that's okay. 25 pounder continues to miss the Nebelwerfer until it doesn't and gets the kill. And now my Sexton trying to counter battery the Vespa. I was kind of targeting the Opel Blitz on purpose here, because the Opel Blitz was right next to the Vespa, and if the Opel Blitz explodes with the shell of the Sexton, then it's probably going to kill the Vespa, or at least that's what I was hoping. So currently just counter battering to pin them down anyway. And the Opel Blitz will stop them from resupplying if it's falling back. The motorized rifles do manage to pin down the Panzergrens, not able to move forwards enough to get the surrender though, because the Panther D would have killed it. I'm going to have to move the half-track forwards instead. This thing's only worth 15 points, Panzergren's worth 35, so just going to be YOLOing that for the surrender as the Pack 40 gets the kill. And now the Sexton and the 25 pounder going to be briefly targeting the Pack 40. The 25 pounder is going to continue firing. Sexton's getting relatively low on ammo though. Meanwhile, Hellcat's coming in with the rockets, but my motorized rifles are happy to stand in the way. That's why I brought up this unit here in the first place, to prevent this sort of flanking maneuver. Elf was doing a good job of probing my flanks though, because originally he started on this side, And then obviously you can see at this point he's kind of, I wouldn't say given up on that idea, but definitely slowed down his approach here and has gone more for an attack on the ridge instead, especially with Genjeff making ground here. But I've got 2 Fireflies on the way. I've already got a Firefly, or 2 Fireflies on the map. Dingo going to come under fire from the Puma. Now these Pumas are notorious for being really accurate, but in this case my Dingo somehow magically survives 3 shots. So I was happy about that because it allows me to give the veterancy to the Fireflies in the future. And now we have the Sexton looking for the kill onto the 88. 25 pounder finds kill onto the Pack 40. Firefly kills the Panther. Doesn't get much better than that. However, Puma does manage to kill off my half-track, and the motorized rifles did get taken out there. So, going to have to bring up some units to block that salient, and it's going to be up to my Stuarts to kill this Puma. Meanwhile, Panzergren moving into the tree line, so going to be just reversing my armoured vehicles and just hopefully pinning that down ASAP so that they have to be retreated. So really nice pushback here from our opponents. Unfortunately for them, there's only 3 minutes left on the game, so it's going to be very unlikely that they can win at this point. I'm still trying to block the push here. Let's do it. Getting the kill on the Puma as the Typhoon AT comes in there. Letting the Sexton continue to counter battery on the left. Panzergrens go down. Going to get everything out the line of sight of the Stug. Now it's just a matter of taking back the ground up here. Since I'd killed like a lot of the Panthers so far, I wasn't really convinced that he had much more, but there is of course one right there. Hellcat coming in with the bombs. And that is going to make it fall back. And he ends up getting the kill as well. Wildcat finishing it off. Very nice. Hummer Mark III on the left does end up going down. I'm going to be preemptively trying to arty the Pack 40 here up on the hill. Trying not to let him get the better of us. Nice bombing strike, helps pin down the infantry, and that's going to close the salient that they had there. 20mm manages to internal fragment my Stuart. It's really unlucky that SPW231 managing to do that. But here comes the flank now. The Firefly moving up the hill here, looking for the shot onto the enemy Stug up on this hill, and it's gonna go down. So I've managed to really get the better of a lot of Gels armor in this game, and it helped me out a lot with the control on the left hand side. Like these AT guns, particularly the 1 health AT guns, absolute MVP. And the Fireflies now just in position to really capitalize on their position, because I can kill his Panzer IVs quite easily with Fireflies. I can kill the Stugs quite easily. And the main thing that's scary is of course the Pack 40 here, which I'm trying to take care of every time I can see it. 35 seconds left on the clock. I do finally bring in supply for the Sexton. That's one thing that's really good about the Sexton though, it has 90 rounds full of ammo. With the double Firefly pushing forwards here, making the Panzer IVs fall back. Taking shots at the MG on the ridge. Still trying to hit the Pack 40, but not getting anywhere close. And, well, the top of the hill that ended up in Genjeff's favour, so I guess if we were playing King of the Hill, they would have won. But in the end, we did reach victory, and 3,580 kills to 1,900 losses for myself. Yag there with the even KD. Did really well early on, but then ended up getting pushed back by the 12th SS. A very, very interesting game that really set off some strong nostalgia. Like playing the Guards Armor. Guards Armor is probably one of my favorite decks on the Allied side. Getting the 1 health AT gun kills. Like this 17 pounder getting 2 Panther Gs. Again, these are 280 points each, and this is a 120 point AT gun. So it's very, very nice when that happens. This one again getting 232 SDK Z72 and the Panther D. This one again getting another Panther D and a Puma. The Fireflies, of course, helping out a little bit here and there. Not doing as well as they probably could have, but even with all the misses at the start, 17 pounders still did a great job. This mortar half track, absolutely invulnerable throughout that game, was really, really sad. And the Vespa also helping out quite a lot with those AT guns. But yeah, fantastic game. Really good fun. GG to the opponents. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.